Welcome back to the virtual office hours. John Fia here. We are continuing in our discussion of the American Revolution. And as some of you may recall, because some of you were there at the seminars, but also some of you are writing a paper, our last seminar was focused on Thomas Paine's Common Sense, this famous tract from January of 1776, in which Paine tries to make the case for why America should break away from England and form their own nation. Now, again, Thomas Paine suggesting independence is somewhat of a radical idea at the time, because as you know, and as we've discussed in this class, the idea of independence from England is a very traumatic thing for many of the colonies. They can't imagine living their lives outside or independent of the mother country. So Paine comes across and says, no, you think that Britain is helping you. You think that Britain is a good mother to you. You think that Britain is protecting your economic interests. But in reality, if you really look at it, they are not. So, I mean, this is one of the main themes of the book, obviously, that we need to break away from England. And it's common. Here are some common sense reasons why we should do that. But there's also another focus in this book, and that is Paine proposes, once you do declare independence, what kind of government do you want to create? What should your government look like? And here it's interesting to sort of play with this idea of common sense. On one level, right, Paine says, here it is, it's common sense. Why should an island rule over a continent? You think that England is protecting your economic interests, but they're really not. You shouldn't have hereditary government because the king is always suspect to tyranny, so why don't we just get rid of him anyway? All of these common sense kind of arguments that Paine makes. But what I also want you to think about is the way in which Paine's philosophy of common sense, the idea that all human beings can shape their own destinies, can participate in government, shape their political lives, based solely on the fact that they have common sense. Not that they're educated, or not that they've, pursued some kind of enlightenment improvement like Benjamin Franklin talked about in his autobiography, but that they simply, because they're human beings, they can have common sense. Think about what that philosophy of common sense, or how that philosophy of common sense is going to inform Paine's very egalitarian, almost democratic view of government. Paine wants a republic, he wants a democratic republic in which all the people have some kind of say in his government. So common sense informs both of Paine's goals, to separate from England, but also to form a new government and what that government should look like. And of course, not everybody agrees with the kind of government that Paine wants to establish. There are many who agree with Paine's call for independence, but we talked about John Adams, him calling Paine's common sense a crapulous mass because of the way in which it promotes the common people. Adams was a conservative. He was a traditionalist. Can we really trust common, uneducated, even illiterate people to make choices? So as we're going to see over the course of the next several lectures down the road, we're going to see the way in which these two visions, the Paine and the Adams vision, or the Paine and the Founding Fathers vision generally, are going to be at odds. So when you think about Paine, and when you think about processing the book, writing the paper, think about these questions. How does common sense affect Paine's two ultimate purposes for this book? And then how is Paine radical? Right? The idea that we are going to break away and declare independence from England is a radical idea, especially when you think about how deeply British the colonies are, 10, 15 years earlier. But also Paine's vision of government is very radical, because many of the Founding Fathers don't trust a government based on common sense and a government based on that horrid D word, democracy. So these are kind of some of the tensions that we will be playing out, or we'll be discussing over the course of the next several lectures. So process Paine. Whether you're writing the paper or not, you will be accountable for Thomas Paine's common sense. You need to know where it fits in the larger narrative of the American Revolution. We'll be talking even a little bit about that in lecture as well this week. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.